Hello everyone, this is Satoshi Teiko, and I'm here today to review 6 different people in my 4th art review video. I remember in my second video, a lot of you guys really enjoyed it a lot, and I know that a majority of you requested that I should do more, so I believe 6 people should be a good amount. Also, I know this video is going to be long, so I'll make sure to add different time slots where everyone can where everyone can easily find which person they want me to hear me critique. Gotta be careful with my microphone. Now that's taken care of, let's begin this review. The first person I'll be reviewing is X3 and N3 Violet, or Maxine for short. In her art gallery, I can only see a total of 13 different drawings that mostly involves original characters and depictions of herself in different art styles. Honestly, I find Maxine's artwork to be quite cute and very adorable in my opinion, and I find her use of colors to be very lively as well. Anyways, the first drawing I'll be critiquing is a fan art picture celebrating Undertale's first year anniversary. What I like the most about this drawing is how Maxine was able to illustrate a majority of the characters in a group shot setting. It really blows my mind that she was able to draw all of them in one canvas. Also, I find the colors in this drawing to be very vivid with a good amount of brightness. And I find it pretty cool that she done this in her own art style, which I give 2 thumbs up for. I guess the only issue I have is how Maxine drew the hands of the characters. It seems a bit too simplistic, but their gestures do appear to be placed in the right way. Next up is a picture titled The Young Ones. Based on this drawing, I can definitely tell that this was heavily inspired by a popular anime series called Mr. Samamatsu, and forgive me if I mispronounced that. I find it nice that Maxine drew these characters with different expressions rather than sticking with one personality. Also, I like how she colored this piece with only flat colors, since it's supposed to resemble the style of the anime. Also, I don't see any problems involving this picture whatsoever, especially since it looks really good. What we have here next is a fan art picture involving Steven Universe. Based on this drawing, I can tell that this was inspired from the episode titled Mindful Education. Like in that episode, Maxine drew the characters such as Garnet and Savani in a meditating position. Also, I find it interesting that she drew the other characters in the background as well, who appears to be in that calm and relaxing state. Just looking at this drawing really reminds me of that Undertale picture that I recently reviewed, especially since I can see the same format. By the way, I find the coloring to be both well done and extremely well blended too. I find the glowing effect with the butterflies to be very impressive. Also, I will point out that it would be nice that Maxine would reveal the lower section of the characters to showcase a full depiction of the poses. But overall, this entire drawing looks well illustrated. Anyways, based on what I said about Maxine's art, I'm happy to give her a 4 out of 5 for her impressive skills in coloring, her ways in adapting different art styles, and providing interesting effects in her art. The second artist I'll be checking out goes by the name of Tamarchen. In Tamarchen's art gallery, there's a bunch of different pieces that mostly involves with one theme, and that is My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. But in this section, it shows different original characters that she created from her own imagination. Some of her creation looks very nice and well thought out, but I'm going to be looking closer to get a deeper understanding of her work. The first picture is an art cherry that was done with another user named Pastel Blue Petals. Based on what I see, this picture was colored over with a base. Honestly, I'm not too fond with bases since it kinda limit yourself from learning how to draw, especially when it comes to learning anatomy, but I will admit that this piece looks quite imaginative and very colorful to look at. Next is a sketch of an MLP character cosplaying as Bayonetta, or a pony version that is supposed to be Bayonetta. Anyways, the drawing looks nice, but the anatomy design of this pony looks a bit off, especially with her legs. Also, her wings seems a bit too small compared to Bayonetta's actual design. I would highly recommend that the artist should extend her wings a little bit further in terms of height, but the way she drew the character's hairstyle and eyes looks really nice, and the symbols on her clothing looks really appealing. The third piece I'll be reviewing is a commission that was designed by Tamara herself. Honestly, I find this drawing to be better than the last picture that I just critiqued. The anatomy appears to be fine, and the texture of the colors looks very smooth. Also, I really like the design of that pony's left eye. It really gives a anime-ish vibe to it. Also, the outlines from this piece looks very solid, and it doesn't look too pixelated at all. Now that I'm done reviewing her page, I believe the score I can give to Tamara is a 3 out of 5. I will admit that some of her pieces look interesting, but it would be nice to see more illustration from her rather than seeing used bases. I'm fully aware that drawing can be a difficult thing and it can be a very long process to deal with, but if you want to improve your art, then you must go beyond your comfort zone and take on certain challenges head on. But again, I'm not saying that bases are completely bad. You can still use them as a reference tool to help you out certain characters, especially if you're drawing them in a rough sketch. Anyways, keep up the good work, Tamara, and I'll be looking forward to seeing more of your lovely work in the future. The following artist I'll be critiquing next is a cool friend of mine who goes by the name of Michael's Cartoons. Originally, he went by Michael's official art in his first account, but he deactivated it due to personal reasons. Anyways, let's move on to his art gallery. As we see here, Michael only posted a total of 5 different drawings, where 4 of them are original characters, and the other is fan art. The first picture I'll be looking at is titled Spooky Flames, where it shows his original character named Mauricia standing in front of 2 separate purple flames with a menacing look. What I like about this drawing is the setting that it takes place. It has a very spooky and creepy vibe to it. By the way, I really love the way how Michael designed the background. It really showcases how gothic this area is. Also, Michael's method in coloring over the cemetery with a black inking tool while keeping the purple skies open was a good idea. Anyways, I find the glowing effect on the flames to be quite interesting. Overall, I find this entire drawing to be very good, especially his character Mauricia. Next is a fan art sketch of a character named Rachel Wilson from the Amazing World of Gumball, who is also the older sister of Tobias. Honestly, I find this drawing to be quite likable since the form of the body looks well drawn and the lines also appear to be quite clean with no marks or shavings. But I do have a small issue in terms of how bright this image is, especially since it's difficult for me to view it in a certain distance. I would definitely recommend to fix the exposure, the highlights, and the shadows on the preview application or on any other device to fix the balance. The last one is a black and white drawing involving another OC named Carney, who actually belongs to a different user from DeviantArt. Anyways, I find the character's pose to be quite nice, but I will admit that her legs need a bit more work. Also, I find it nice that Michael drew her in his own art style rather than sticking with the original design. By the way, I find the anatomy to be quite decent and well illustrated as well. Anyways, I'll be giving Michael a rating of 4 out of 5 for his ability to work in certain effects with his work while showcasing his pieces to be very both clean and very detailed. The next artist I'll be reviewing is an awesome friend of mine who I've been following for a very long time. He goes by leoelbarto. In the very beginning, when Leo first created his DeviantArt page, a majority of his previous work were filled with gothic-related themes that had a very creepy vibe to them, which also had a spooky and a crazy perspective. These days, Leo tends to submit new art that mostly involves with colorful themes with a sense of life and energy. Now that the introduction is over, let's head over to the rest of his page. The first drawing I'll be looking at is a piece titled Don't You Love Group Pictures? In this illustration, it shows a group of original characters that Leo has designed that shows them placed together in a group picture, just like the title has mentioned. What I like the most about this drawing is how Leo was able to draw a lot of his own characters while having the entire picture to be beautifully well drawn with no errors. Also, I really admire the coloring a lot. It's very colorful and very vibrant too. Oh, actually, I meant to say vibrant. Yeah, that's how you pronounce it, vibrant. Also, I found many of his OC designs to be very creative and very original as well. By the way, I'm kind of speculating this, but I'm assuming that Leo has spent over 4 or 5 hours to work this entire drawing, or even more. Anyways, this drawing looks really good. Also, Leo, I hope you didn't hurt your hands too bad from working on this wonderful piece, dude. The following piece is a fan art drawing that shows a character named, well, sorry if I mispronounced this, but it goes by Iyami from Mr. Sumamatsu. In this piece, he has an over-exaggerated facial expression with a goofy pose. For starters, what I like about this drawing is how accurate the art style is to the anime. It really resembles a lot, especially since Leo was able to capture the pose, the clothing design, and other aspects very well. Also, the coloring is spot on impressive. Compared to the one from the anime, I can definitely see a huge difference with Leo's design. For instance, in his piece, there's a lot more light and exposure being presented. Also, Leo has contributed some minor shading with the black, sorry, not the black, but with the dark colors. Overall, I find this drawing to be really amazing, and I find it pretty cool that he added a few items floating in the canvas, which is pretty neat. Last but not least is an OC that Leo had drawn, but this picture was originally posted back in April 2016. Also, I don't recall this character's name, but I'll make sure to ask Leo for that information. Anyways, what we have here is a drawing of his OC shown in black and white colors, who is also depicted holding a huge hammer in a very cartoonish fashion. Also, looking at her character design, she kind of reminds me of one of those characters with a wacky personality who tends to be very outgoing, but also destructive as well. Anyways, I find her pose to be very nice, and just like I mentioned before with his other pieces, the colors he used in this piece are very vibrant, but also bright too. Also, I find it interesting that he illustrated a purple background with a black and white character. Honestly, placing those three colors in one frame won't look the greatest, but surprisingly, Leo was able to pull it off right. The last thing I would like to mention is the font he used for Kapow. It really suits this character's personality, and especially her design, since it's very impactful and incredibly big, just like her hammer. So, Leo, my friend, I believe you deserve a rating of 5 out of 5 for your great skills in coloring, anatomy, originality, and especially for establishing your creative designs on a piece of paper with, well, not on a piece of paper, but on a digital piece of paper with great success. And wow, my phone is vibrating right now. But anyways, you deserve, actually, yeah, you definitely deserve it, buddy. Especially for all your hard work and all the stuff that you went through. The fifth person I'll be critiquing goes by the name of GadgetBoy197, who is a fan fiction writer in training. Looking from his art gallery, he does have a small collection of his own pieces that mostly contains characters from DC Comics and including Disney as well. He also submits different kinds of writing that mostly focus on fan fiction, but today I'm going to be focusing specifically on his drawings. The first iteration I'll be checking out is a drawing titled Batgirl vs. Harley Quinn Knockout. Also, sorry for being off topic, but looking at this really reminds me of the old stuff that I uploaded back in 2010. I remember I drew things like Kim Possible fighting against Betty, another piece involving random OC's kickboxing, another fighting related drawing between KP and Shigo. Also, I thought it would be a pretty cool idea to draw the characters from Total Drama Island as boxers. Though I don't know why I did it, but again, I just did it. Anyways, looking at my old work, I will admit it looks very cringy, and its presentation looks absolutely awful, but I sometimes get a good laugh or two, so, you know, what's in the past stays in the past. But the thing that I really admired the most is that while looking at my old drawings and comparing my work right now, it makes me really happy to see how much I've grown as an artist, especially since I've been drawing like for how long exactly? Like 6 years or 7? Yeah, I think it's 7 years, I believe. But anyways, enough of my terrible old drawings. Let's move on to Gadget Boy. Anyways, I find the creativity in his piece to be pretty interesting, but the way he put his idea on paper looked a bit off. I can see a lot of issues, especially with the character's anatomy. Also, the ring ropes also appear to be very loose and unbalanced. The 3 ropes doesn't fall in a straight line. By the way, I know that Batgirl performed an uppercut underneath Charlie. No, wait, what did I say? Charlie. I meant to say Harley's shin, but I would really recommend to extend her arm a little bit further up. The next drawing is another boxing match, but this time it involves with both Mabel and Pacifica from Gravity Falls. I can see that Gadget Boy has done a better job in drawing the ropes, and he even added colors to them. For that, I'll give him some extra points. But again, I do see some issue involving the anatomy and the perspective of the fight scene, since it looks both unbalanced and a little strange. For instance, one of Mabel's gloves is a lot larger than the other one, yet for Pacifica, both of her boxing gloves are not only the same size, but they also match the same range as well. Also, out of curiosity, I wanted to check out the second round between these two, and I realized that Mabel's body has shifted to a different size, where she appears to be a lot smaller than the previous picture. I honestly find this to be a strange change, but everyone has their own way in drawing things. last one is a picture that involves an aftermatch where Batgirl gets hits below the belt by Harley Quinn. I'm pretty sure this one was taking place before Harley got knocked out in a certain round. Anyways, I will admit that the expression on Batgirl's face does look pretty funny. I mean, just look at it. But humor aside, let's focus on the art itself. Again, the anatomy of these characters look extremely off, and somehow there's been a shift of size where Harley is now bigger than before. Also, the angle on one of Harley's arm looks very misshapen. Also, I think the pose on Batgirl could have been better, but if you want to make the pose a lot easier to illustrate, then I would highly recommend to look up references on DeviantArt or from using Google Images. By the way, the coloring in this piece looks good, but if you want to increase your colors for better quality, then I highly recommend purchasing the Prismacolor brand. I believe a 12 set is like $12 or $13. I mean, I know it sounds a little expensive, depending how much money you have, but trust me, they're pretty good. I mean, I even used them for my art project in my college, and yeah, they're not that bad. So, the rating I'll be giving to this artist is a 2.5 out of 5. Also, before I say anything else, I just want to say this, especially if you're watching this, Mr. Gadget, don't let my score bring you down or make you feel upset. After all, I can tell you have potential. I know taking criticism is a very challenging thing to do, and this applies to any artist whether you're a beginner or a professional. No matter what happens, everyone has their own flaws and weaknesses, but we can overcome them as long as we improve and work hard. Also, if you would like to know other ways to improve your art, and this applies to anyone, then you're more than welcome to pause this video and read these 5 methods. Trust me, they're really useful, and they've helped me out a lot. I mean, just look at the differences between, well, not between, but just these 3 drawings that I've done. Like, seriously though, my drawings from 6 years ago was absolutely horrible. Honestly, it would be pretty cool if Solar Sands or Deviant Cringe would review my old work. But yeah, anyways dude, keep on practicing and continue on drawing. The last person I'll be reviewing is actually one of my favorite artists that I tend to follow on social media. But on DeviantArt he goes by fallenjrblue. In his art gallery, a majority of his pieces fall in the category of fan art. As an artist who draws a lot of fan art, especially involving some of my favorite female characters, I can definitely relate with this person 100%, especially since I'm also friends with other artists who draws that kind of stuff as well. The first one is titled Two Lovebirds, where it shows Timmy with kiss marks on his face while Chloe is comforting him with her hand. Anyways, I find this picture to be very good, and the main subject behind this picture is really funny and quite romantic as well. The line work looks very clean, but I will admit that it does look a little pixelated, but I do sorry about that, but I do detect some smoothness here and there. Also, the coloring behind this is also clean, but I would recommend fallenjrblue to add some shading on the characters, possibly underneath the neck areas. What we sorry about that. What we have here next is a fan art drawing of one of the most beautiful and extremely good-looking characters from the Animaniacs. Surprisingly, she doesn't have a real name, but a majority of the cast just call her by Hello Nurse. Anyways, I find it pretty cool that this artist drew Hello Nurse as Valentine, who is from a very popular indie game called Skullgirls. When you think about it, it really fits perfectly since both of them are in the medical field, but sadly, one of them has serious ninja skills that could seriously kill an opponent. Anyways, the drawing looks well illustrated and carefully outlined. I find it nice that he added some minor shading to the character while providing small amount of highlights on her hair and body. By the way, I like the way he drew this fighting pose. It really symbolizes one of Valentine's character traits. Overall, I give the drawing 2 thumbs up, but it would be nice to see this drawing in a full body design. So, the last drawing I'll be reviewing is named Who is Better from the Two. In this drawing, it shows Running Ann and Christina fighting over Lincoln to see who he likes the most. But based from his expression, I'm pretty sure he's too nervous to respond. Poor little guy. So, what I like about this picture is how Junior Blue drew this in his own art style. Also, the outlining in this one looks really good, and the colors he used on this picture appears to be looking great as well. Also, I'm not sure if it's me, but I think Running Ann and Christina's face looks a bit off. But hey, everyone has their own thoughts and opinions, since we all think differently though. The rating I'll be giving to Mr. Fallen is a 4 out of 5 for his detailed work, his accuracy in illustrating certain characters, and for his coloring skills as well. So yeah dude, keep it up. I gotta say, doing this entire video took me a very long time to complete, and the script that I wrote for myself was actually 4 or 5 pages long. Anyways, I'm very happy that many of you guys watched it this far, and I want to say thank you so much for listening to me talk for this long, I guess. Also, if you're interested in watching more of my art review videos, then I would highly recommend to click on the latest one on this video, or you're more than welcome to go visit to my playlist from my channel, and don't forget to subscribe. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.